Mr. DPD has just arrived, and I reckon this must be my new exhaust. So let's get us a knife and get this thing opened. God, it's heavy. That looks alright. Nice big hole down the middle. Should be good. I've also got a little section of this flexible stuff, which I'm hoping, this is for the wastegate thing, so I'm hoping this kind of flexible stuff makes it much easier to kind of plumb it in. So as I said in the first one, the plan is to bring the exhaust up here, making the with as long a can as possible. So we've got the bit we made the other day, and we need to get that to fit onto there. So a little piece of pipe I can weld into that end. Keep using the sleeve bit on here, so that will clamp on rather than weld on, and that way it's removable if I need to. So I need to prep these bits now for welding. So I'm going to try and remember all the lessons learned from the welding. So first I just need to deburr the inside of this pipe. Bit I suspect I'm going to end up forgetting most of the time. Clean my acetone. What I'm going to be then is careful not to touch the bits I'm welding, because my hands have got a bit of grease on them. I'll end up contaminating what I've just made clean. Yeah, look, this definitely needs doing, doesn't it? Now this isn't going to be two bits butted together, one slides inside the other. That's fully home. Right. The top here is going to be the furthest away from the weld, so I'll put my purge hose in that end. It's less likely to fall out and melt then, isn't it, I guess. Use some tape to block off the bottom end. Try and minimise how close it is to the weld. Not sure what the melting point of this tape is, but I don't want to find out by having a pool of it on the floor. A couple of small holes. It says argon is heavier than air, so they say if you put the holes in the top, and it makes sure the air kind of comes out rather than the argon, I suppose. Pipe in. Tape. think that is ready to go to tack weld. So that's the new bit with the exhaust slipped over. I want to make maximum room for the can, so I'm going to just chop. Let's see how much we've got. Only 2 centimeters. Is that even worth chopping off? Let's have a little look where it is on the car. Yeah, I think it is. I mean, a lot of the time I'm going to run with this with just a tail on here, but I suspect for track days I'm going to have to put the 2 bike can things on the end here again. So we'll have a 90-degree here. So just chopping it down a bit will help keep things tidy and easier. So I reckon that's going to take just about 1 centimetre off there. About it's not cut straight. I'm having one of the problems I'm having with this chop saw thing is it's making sure that whatever is in here is dead square. It's a bit annoying, but that end is going to slide inside the end can, so I'm not going to fuss too much. Right, so I'm going to do a little bit of deburring and just take the worst lumps and bumps off of my welding. Right, do that. Now trying to work on the pipe that comes off the wastegate. I shortened the original one right down to there, and then I've welded in this 45-degree angle, so we're coming in kind of almost parallel with the main pipe. And what I've got is this flexible stuff. You see it sort of bends. You get about a 45-degree bend on it. My aim is to have this connected in and then kind of not teed in, but I want to try and blend in as much as I can into there. So the exhaust coming out of there is kind of already going in the direction of flow, rather than the old exhaust was teed straight in, and I do wonder how it must have caused a lot of turbulence inside the exhaust when gases came straight in like that. So it's just now a case of kind of playing around with angles and seeing where I am until I can get it about right. At the moment I've left that pipe just a little bit long, so I've got virtually no clearance here, and this is sort of sleeved so it goes over the top. So I'm going to chop that one back about another centimetre or so. It would then be where this taper is, just a centimetre or so will give me lots of clearance then. I've cut this flexible pipe down. It's got quite a long kind of sleeve bit, so I've shortened that a bit, and then I've cut the other end on an angle. So let's just see where we are. So that'll fit on there. There's plenty of overlap on there, and then let's try getting this exhaust coming. That's not too far out. I need to clean up that wedge end I've cut on there, and obviously cut a hole in here. I think I'll make the hole in there slightly smaller, certainly at the back, so this still can flow round and maybe even cause a bit of venturi going on if I'm really lucky. I've drawn around this where I need to weld the two together. I've got this kind of teardrop shape. So I think the best way is to use a hole drill, put a round hole through there, and then I'm going to have to just grind and file out to make it a bit more of the correct shape. So we're back in the garage, and I've marked that out more clearly. I found a saw drill that is, anything, maybe I should be brave and go up a little bit from that. The trouble is, obviously if I make the hole too big, it's quite difficult making it smaller again. It's a bit easier the other way around, isn't it? Right, so let's find the middle of this before I do anything else. So that's about 3.5, which is about there. So X marks the spot. Adds complexity, obviously. I'm going to weld it on. I'm trying to drill that on charge. So we've got a nice round hole there now. 28mm, and this stuff is 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch is what, about 38. So would still be heavily restricting there. So I'm going to try and grind this out. I think that's a job for the good old Dremel. I've got like these little tiny cutting discs for the Dremel. I reckon that's probably my best bet, is to use one of these and kind of cut a V in, I think. Let's put some eye protection on, might be a good idea, eh? If I do put glasses, I'll be able to see what I'm doing as well. So I've got the bulk of it out. It's just a case now of cleaning it all up a bit. I don't know what's going to be the best thing to use. I could give one of these little sanding wheel things a crack. Sometimes they work quite well, and other times they just fall apart really. Lots of them. One thing I do know is not too fast for these. We can try give these little grindstones a go. It's like a little grind wheel. Whoops. I can't do that again if I tried. That's pretty well there. The hole's a lot bigger than the one in the exhaust I took off was. So I reckon that would do. So it's time to prep this to weld it. My normal way of doing things, I tend to go head rush into them and then find problems. So of course what I hadn't really thought about is welding this, is how the hell am I gonna hold the two bits to tack weld. So I've taped around there. Of course I've done that without cleaning it, so I'll have to take that tape off. Hopefully that's going to hold well enough for me to just get a couple of tack welds on there, and then be able to get on and do the whole thing. I've just tack welded that on. And I'm going to put it on the car and see if it all lines up. Then I'm going to call it a day. Videoing with one hand and fitting an exhaust with the other. That's gone on fairly well. Got them both coming out. And then we'll put the end can on there. I'm quite happy with that. It's a lot smoother in than it was. Look at that bigger kind of hole, and I'm thinking with the gas flow would tend to go around the outside of the curve coming off the turbo. So this bit here hopefully will cause less disturbance. So I'm virtually out of gas, so I'm going to call that a day there now. A whole different issue is I found a problem with the wastegate as well, so I'm waiting for a part for that, so I can't really do a massive amount more. So there we are. So good progress today, I reckon.